Ladies and gentlemen, we're still alive in the playoffs. If you guys, you know, the realism is that we're not going to make the playoffs. But we're Dolphins fans. We're going to root for them to make the playoffs. It doesn't matter if it's unlikely. It doesn't matter if we probably go out first round. We want that scenario to happen. And the Bengals just helped us out so much in a really close overtime win over the Broncos. It leaves the Dolphins with only one path to the playoffs. But that path is a pretty simple one. We need the Broncos to now lose next week to Kansas City, and I'll explain in a minute how that is possible. We need the Colts to lose either tomorrow at 1 p.m. against the Giants, or to lose next week against the Jaguars, which both are, maybe tomorrow against the Giants is too much to ask for, but Jaguars, real possibility there. Bengals helped us out a lot. Shout out T. Higgins, shout out Joe Burrow, shout out Jamar Chase, shout out Chase Brown. Y'all helped us out. Your defense did not. How the heck did Marvin Mims catch that to end regulation? Blows my mind. But yeah, so the Dolphins are still alive. Now, a lot of you are going to be asking, well, does this change to a status for the game? In my opinion, it does. I don't think there's a chance in hell that the competitive nature for Tua, if he does not go tomorrow, it's because he physically cannot move. I will almost bet anything that Tua plays tomorrow, because we're still alive. We're still in this. We are not dead just yet. And it is a real possibility that we could make the playoffs. Is it a likely possibility? Absolutely not. But it is a real possibility that we can make the playoffs. And I'm going to tell you guys this right now. Colts, tomorrow, unlikely. Giants suck. They almost look like they want to lose so that they can go and secure either Cam Ward, Shadur Sanders, whatever. However, Kansas City next week against the Broncos. A lot of you guys are, Kansas City already clinched the 1 seed. They're going to rest their players. And I will agree with you to a certain extent. They're going to rest probably their stars, but they're still probably going to play the first half of that football game. Or at least play a couple of drives of that football game for multiple reasons. One is because they still have their incentives on their contract that they want to meet and they want to reach. Same reason Chris Jones played last year. I know Travis Kelce didn't, even though he was 7 yards away, but they now have the 1 seed, so they get that bye. And if my math was correct, I believe it was 27 days in between games if they rest their starters and rest all of their starters. Now, that is a long time. That is a long time to go without playing football. You risk the chance of getting rusty in that case. You have 1 week. It's kind of like, okay, a bye week, 2 weeks. It's like, okay, a little good rest. But you're talking about 2.5 to 3 weeks. And that is a lot of time because they played on Wednesday. They played on Christmas Day. So it is a real possibility that we see them pull out their starters maybe in the second half, but they're probably going to play a little bit of that game at the very least. And then on top of that, their backup quarterback is still Carson Wentz. I know a lot of people have their opinion about Carson Wentz, but Andy Reid is Andy Reid. I mean, we kind of see it a little bit with Sam Darnold over in Minnesota right now. Sam Darnold, almost everywhere else, it's like, well, damn, he sucks. But last year with the 49ers, this year with the Vikings, it's kind of like, okay, well, if Sam Darnold has to play, he has the talent and he has a great coach behind him. It's the same thing with Carson Wentz. We've seen that ability before, and now he has Andy Reid. So there is that likely scenario that he has a really good game. And in all honesty, with that receiving core, I mean, who are you going to rest in that receiving core? You need Xavier Worthy to have more reps, not less. You need Hollywood Brown, who miss this entire season to get more reps in that offense, not less. Maybe you rest Travis Kelce, but you still have Noah Gray out there along with their other tight ends. You have your offensive line. None of them really have been playing well, so you want them to have better reps, more reps, and get them prepared for the playoffs. Similar to Isaiah Pacheco, they've been working him back a little bit. Maybe you let Kareem Hunt rest a little bit, but you also don't have a deep running back room to be able to be like, okay, we're resting Pacheco and Kareem Hunt. So I would say maybe most of their resting is going to be done between Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and a few guys on defense like Chris Jones, who was hurting out on Christmas Day. I would doubt we see him on next week as well. So that's kind of that, right? So it's all fingers crossed, hoping, praying that it goes the Dolphins' way. As far as the Colts go, like I said, against the Giants, not realistic. But the Jags low-key have been kind of decent lately. Like, they haven't won games, they haven't put up numbers. But, like, when you have Brian Thomas Jr. that's just coming out and breaking away, Mac Jones playing halfway decent. He's still ass, but he's still playing halfway decent. You still have, a good running back core. I'm not a fan of Travis Etienne, but you still have him back there along with Tank Bigsby. Evan Ingram's out, but Brendan Strange, you drafted him highly for a reason. He has at least a little bit of ability. So that's going to be an interesting game, especially with how Indianapolis, they're going to, who knows if they have Anthony Richardson. They're going to be with Joe Flacco against the Giants. So maybe that's something as well. And then if you guys want to ask me about, okay, what if Tua doesn't play? I still think he does. But if Tua doesn't play, Tyler Huntley has now been in this offense for a little while now, and he has made a couple of plays. And I believe that we're going to have Jalen Waddle back. He's questionable, but he practiced more towards the end of the week. Tyreek Hill has had a lot of practice this week, and he's actually been splitting with Tyler Huntley and Tua because Tua has been limited this week. So we're going to have our guys out there. Our defense has been playing really well, and we're going against Dorian Thompson-Robinson. They're not going to have Nick Chubb. They're not going to have Cedric Tillman, David Njoku. So they're really only going to have Jerry Jeudy out there. And I love Jerry Jeudy, but I trust Ramsey, Cater-Kohu to cover him and be able to take care of that. Holland and Poyer, we'll calm down on that a little bit, on that slander a little bit. But I just don't think that the Browns offense has what it takes to really score enough against us. Whereas I do think even with Tyler Huntley, I believe his rushing ability, his ability to move around the pocket, and even just throw the checkdowns. Like I know we've thrown a lot of checkdowns lately, but if I've said this over and over again, you watch Tua, he's going through his reads so fast that it almost looks like it's a design play, but it's not. But maybe you get some of those design plays in there. And McDaniel has called really good games since Tua has been back. Honestly, really even since before Tua has been back. The last couple games before he came back was really well called. The Patriots game, even the Colts game, he called it really well. We just fumbled it twice and basically gave that game away. Raheem Mostert anyway. But yeah, so I believe that this path to the playoffs is serious. And look, do I think it is likely? No, it's not likely. It is asking a lot for you to have the Chiefs, who have nothing to play for besides repetition and practice, basically, to go into a game with a team that needs a win to make the playoffs. And then you have the Colts team, who has been playing really well recently. You're asking for them to lose to 2 bottom 5 teams in the NFL, or one of 2 bottom 5 teams in the NFL. Do I think it's realistic that the Dolphins still win out? Absolutely. I just don't think that path is there realistically. But I'm still rooting for it because, we're Dolphins fans. We going to come out here and we're going to root for it. I was sick to my stomach watching Marvin Mims catch that in double coverage. I was sick to my stomach watching that doink from Cade York. But we're here. Alas, we're still alive. Going into the last, we had to win tomorrow, but possibly going into the last week of the season, we're still alive with playoff hopes. Obviously need a lot of help. Hopefully Tua can play. I'm like 85% certain that he's going to play, even though he's doubtful. But that's just my opinion. That's my 2 cents. Deuces.